Our qualities like empathy, compassion, and the ability to act in the interest of others are key factors that make us human. But they have not always been exclusive to us. It has been a mere 10,000 years since Homo sapiens as humans have solely occupied the globe. It is a common misconception that the different human species each came after the other. Instead, from about 2 million years ago up until 10,000 years ago, the world was home to several human species. What is actually peculiar is our current exclusivity. Not that we had multi-species in the past. Today there are many species of elephants, pigs, giraffes. Homo sapiens were primarily present in only a corner of Africa, but when about 70,000 years ago they spread to Eurasian landmasses, it had already been occupied by other humans. But who were they? In 1856, in the Neander Valley in Germany, a partial skeleton was uncovered. A skeleton recognized as a distinct form of a human. It was named as a new type of human species, the Homo neanderthalensis. The Neanderthals have a long evolutionary history. The earliest known examples of Neanderthal-like fossils are around 430,000 years old. Neanderthals lived between 130,000 and 40,000 years ago. Neanderthal populations were adaptable, living in cold, steep environments in England and Siberia, as well as in warm-temperature woodlands in Spain and Italy. They had a long, low skull, compared to the more globular skull of modern humans. With a characteristic prominent brow ridge above their eyes, the central part of the face was dominated by a very big nose. Some scientists think this feature may have been an adaptation to living in colder, drier environments. Unlike common perceptions of the Neanderthals being primitive cavemen, they were actually an intelligent species. Neanderthals were skilled tool makers. Neanderthals also developed the ability to make fire from at least 200,000 years ago. Life was hard, but they were resourceful, just like our species, the Homo sapiens. Archaeological evidence shows that some Neanderthals looked after their sick and buried their dead, which suggests they were social and even compassionate beings. Researchers say that Neanderthals were not less intelligent than modern humans. Then what made them go extinct? There are various factors that contributed to this. Modern humans had a cognitive edge that manifested itself in more cooperative hunting, better weaponry, a broader diet, and other major advantages. However, there is no archaeological evidence to back this up. Other studies in our genetics show that Neanderthals have contributed approximately 1 to 4% of the genomes of non-African modern humans. This suggests that the arrival of modern humans to Europe may have simply swamped and assimilated them. Now, what if we create an alternative timeline where the Neanderthals didn't go extinct and somehow they survived? Imagine there being two separate species on Earth coexisting through the Middle Ages, the Agricultural Age, the Industrial Revolution, until present day. As we have learned, tolerance is not a Homo sapiens specialty. In recent times, the difference in skin color, religion, or language has sparked huge genocides. One group of sapiens have set out to exterminate another group from the same species. This leads us to the question of whether we would really be tolerant of a whole different species. How big of a difference would there be between Neanderthals and Homo sapiens? Large enough for us to treat them as animals and lock them in zoos, or small enough that they would integrate into modern society? Maybe somewhere in between, where they would be forced to fight in wars and enslaved. What kind of cultures, political structures, and systems of belief would have emerged if two different human species coexisted? If we consider the theory that sapiens drove the Neanderthals to extinction, with the sapiens being better as hunter-gatherers, having superior social skills, then even if the Neanderthals survived, they would be treated as second-class citizens. However, if the Neanderthals decided to exist separately outside of the developing world, would we let them, or would we colonize and enslave them? How would historical events have unfolded? Instead of saying workers of the world unite, would Karl Marx say workers of all species unite? Would the Neanderthals be fighting for equal rights? Because of a different species of humans, would we find a need to unite, and instead of creating inequalities in our own species, would it be targeted towards the Neanderthals instead? For the past 10,000 years, Homo sapiens have grown so accustomed to being the only human species that it is hard to imagine any other possibility. If the Neanderthals survived, would it remind us that we are just another kind of animal with other species? Maybe this was the reason our ancestors decided to eradicate them. As Yuval Noah Harari states in his book called Sapiens, they, the Neanderthals, were too familiar to ignore, but too different to tolerate.